creating your own luck, and you can call it synchronicity, creating synchronicity. Let me start again by quoting the scripture that says that we can understand God by studying the creation or work of his hand. He said, for the invisible things of him, from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Another translation says, God's eternal power and character cannot be seen. But from the beginning of creation, God has shown what these are like by all he has made. And that is why those people don't have an excuse. We have enough information available in our world that gives us an idea of who God is beyond, and I'm talking in terms of science, just through observation, using our mind. We have an idea of who God is. We have an idea of his character. We have an idea of his mind, of the way, the principle with which he operates with. And that's why I believe strongly, if the scripture is to be written today, you're going to see some changes in the language being used, which were currently there, but not in the language of today. And that is energy, frequency, and vibration. I'm very sure these words are going to come up because love, joy, peace make you to be at a high frequency of vibration, but anger, hatred, fear make people to do evil at a low, and because they're at a low frequency of vibration. And this is exactly the reason why, as long as you are in Christ, which means you are full of love, full of joy, full of peace, evil power cannot harm you because you are above them due to your high frequency of vibration. This is so profound for me, and this explains the reason why it's important to live a life pleasing to God. This is why it's important to live a holy life, a life full of joy, peace, and love, because it makes you to be at a height that it becomes difficult for evil forces and evil power to have access to you. So you are doing yourself a favor when you are living a life full of peace. You are doing yourself a favor when you are living a life full of joy. You are doing yourself a favor when you are doing a life full of love. But anger, hatred, and fear create hell within. Remember, it says, seek ye first the kingdom. And the kingdom is righteousness, peace, and joy. He said, and all these things shall be added. If I create that heaven within, then I will experience heaven without. If I create hell within, through sadness, sorrow, depression, anger, animosity, anxiety, worry, if I create hell within, then of course I will experience hell without. Now, God has also set different systems on earth, and this make him not to interfere in the day-to-day operation of the earth, because he has set up different systems on the earth. For example, water cycle, carbon cycle, phosphorus cycle, nitrogen cycle. These are discoveries of how the earth functions, and it gives us a glimpse into the mind of God of how it functions. The fact that it functions in systems and structures. The fact that it functions in system and structure. And this is very, very important. This is very important because it means that it is not when you pray that your answer comes before while you are well speaking he has answer. While you are here speaking he has answer. Because it's a system you have put in place. If you plug in, you get your desired reality. Now, I was talking to some people today that, look, have you wondered why there are so many promises in the Bible, but believers don't get to experience most of them? And I was asking, does it bother you? And I was shocked that it didn't bother many. And that was a very serious feedback for me. The fact that he didn't bother many shows that we are used to just continue to pray without getting answer and be okay with it. Because that is the norm. That is the norm. Pray, no answer, and you're okay. When the Bible says, let God be true and everyone a liar. Let God be true and everyone a liar. Let God be true and everyone a liar. But you are not experiencing what the scripture says, but you're okay with it. That's I can't understand that. I can't understand that. I can't understand that because it speaks volume to me. Let God be true and every man a liar. So if he has said it, it's because it's true. So if you are not experiencing it, the fault is not his, the fault is you. But if you are not concerned about the fact that the fault is you and that you have to do something about it, then it's also worrisome. It's also worrisome. And I was saying that if you're praying and you don't get answer to that prayer, it's a sign of doubt. Because the Bible says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And then he said, let not that man think he will receive anything from God. Then the question is, how do I know when I'm in doubt? And that's exactly what I talked about to them. How do I know if I'm in doubt? What are the evidence that I'm in doubt? Fear is an evidence that I'm in doubt. Worry is an evidence that I'm in doubt. Scarcity mindset is an evidence that I'm in doubt. Shame is an evidence I'm in doubt. So it's easy to know that when you see this manifesting in your life, it's an evidence because they are signs that God is far away from you. Because if you are afraid, it's because you don't see God being with you in that situation. You don't believe when he said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. If you are worried about the future, it's because you don't believe he owes tomorrow and he has control over it. If you have a scarcity mindset, it's because you don't believe when he says he has given unto you all things that pertain to life and godliness. If you are full of shame or you are shameful, being shameful is a sign of relegating yourself. And look at that. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this. Can you see this? Can you see shame there? Can you see shame there? Humiliation. The emotional state of humiliation. Being in that state is a sign that I'm not seeing myself as God has seen me and seeing myself lower than who he has made me. I don't believe in what he has said concerning me. Now, why are all these important? All these are important because they are evidence that you don't believe. God is a God of system. Even in our body, he has digestive system, respiratory system, endocrine system, skeletal system, digestive system, pulmonary system, cardiovascular system. All these systems are working independently. And that gives us a glimpse into the mind of God. The Father is a God of system. Today, we are looking at how to manifest and create your own luck. Have you seen someone before that you can say, this person is lucky? I can tell you, the person is laboring under correct knowledge. L-U-C-K. The person is laboring under correct knowledge. That is why, what's that? Mute your mind, please. Laboring under correct knowledge. That is why you say the person is lucky. When you say someone is lucky, the person is pretty much laboring under correct knowledge. That means he knows something that makes him to position himself for goodness and mercy to follow him. Because he said, goodness and mercy shall follow you. goodness and mercy shall follow you. When goodness and mercy follow you and you're not pursuing it, they say you are lucky. Because it's like it falls on your lap. It didn't fall on your lap. You just position yourself to be at a frequency that resonates with the reality that has come to you. Let me start by saying that until you redefine the meaning of your reality, you will not be able to be the God over your circumstances and situation. You won't be able to control it and determine it and influence it. It's also important to state that life has no meaning. And I will explain what I mean by that. Life has no meaning. By this, I don't mean that life is meaningless. I don't mean there is no God. I mean that the meaning you give a situation or circumstances in your life is what it becomes to you. That's what I mean by life has no meaning. That means whatever things that happen in life, there's no, you can't, any meaning you give it is what it is. It doesn't have its own meaning. It is the meaning you attach to it. It doesn't have its own meaning. It is the meaning you attach to it. That's why two people can experience the same thing and see it from different perspectives. Someone have an extra year in school and committed suicide. Another person has 8 extra years in school. Today is inspiring younger people not to be as foolish as he was when he was on campus. The same situation by two different people. The one that is even worse respond better. Life is not necessary. Your response, the meaning you give a situation that occurs in your life, it's not necessary that is the meaning. It is the meaning you have given to it. The Bible says whatsoever Adam name it, that is what it becomes. The name that Adam give it, that's what it becomes. What is the name you are given the situation and circumstances in your life? The meaning we give things is actually a label. A label that we give them, and this makes us to say that something is good or bad. It makes us to say that something is good or bad. So labeling things as good or bad is only possible in this physical realm because of the illusion of separation. Labeling something, don't be quick to label something as good or bad. Don't be quick to label it. Don't be quick to label something as good or bad. Let me tell you a story. There was this story of a man. The man had I think cattle. The son took the cattle to the field. The cattle got lost, and he was looking for it. In the course of looking for it, he fell and broke his leg. Eventually, he came back home, and people were saying, sorry, your son have issue with the leg. But eventually, some people came to besiege the city and they want to fight them. And they need to recruit young people. They need to recruit young people to go and fight, for which many of them died. But this guy, because he was lame, was not recruited. People say, you're lucky, you're lucky, you're lucky. Your son will not be going, so he won't die in the field. When he broke the leg, it was like negative. Now that war has happened, it looked like broken leg is a positive. Don't be quick to judge any situation and circumstances you face in your life. Don't be quick to judge. We are quick to give it a label as human beings. Polarity, duality, separation, and the fact that we give things a meaning that is either positive or negative shows that you don't understand that both are same energy but different rate of vibration. The principle of duality, polarity, and separation tell us so. Tell us so. In the real sense of the word, there is no such thing as good or bad, poor or rich. They only exist in this physical realm. Because in the spiritual realm, there's no separation. I and you listening to me are one are the same. Because same God, universal intelligence, created both of us and reside in us. So we have inside of us same being, same source. This is why it is unwise to be evil, to be destructive, to be callous, to be unforgiving, because quite frankly, you are doing it to yourself. We are all connected. We are all connected. The meaning that we give to life is not more than our ego trying to make sense of things that we don't understand. That's how you give it a meaning. You have to make, because when you give it a meaning, then you will relate to it based on that. Trying to make sense of something we don't understand. This does not mean that life is meaningless. It simply means that nothing is anything until you give it a label. Nothing is anything until you give it a meaning. Nothing is anything until you give a label. Life has no meaning other than the meaning you have given to it. Life has no meaning other than the meaning you have given to it. The way many people are trapped in this life is to ensure that they wrongly perceive the way they see reality. Many people have been trapped. And this is deliberate so that they won't see their reality correctly. Note that if your perception does not serve your purpose, then it is there to control you. Look, the way you see things, if it doesn't serve you, it's controlling you. So someone has done something to you, very bad, very unprofessional, very evil. If you perceive it, there's a way you perceive it that you feel so terrible about it and feel bad about it. And then it's controlling your mood. It's controlling how you feel. Why? The way you perceive reality, if it's not serving your purpose, it's controlling you. This has been used by politicians, religious leaders, and many elites on the masses for many years. That is why they try as much as possible to control the narrative. They want to control what you are thinking. They want to control what they put out there for the masses. So if you are in the majority, if you don't look deeper, you will think, for example, they told us Boko Haram means Western education is evil, is bad. Don't go to school. But now we are seeing, and many people have known this for many years. I have also have an inclination on this for a while. The fact that most of the issue in our country, it's not just because people are a religious issue or people are hungry or bandits. No, even calling them bandits, that's another thing. The government want to control the narrative, so they call them bandits. So they make the media to call them bandits. Do you know what that means? Then that makes us not to see them as terrorists. But now we are getting to know that these people are being funded and that one of the source of funding is USAID, USAID money. It's being funded, and that they funded it to be able to create a bad publicity for Jonathan, so Jonathan can be voted out of office. And that's exactly what happened. Only that when they created that problem, they could not tame it afterwards. Just the same way people give meaning to weather. Note that all we live, all of us, live in different worlds. All of us live in different worlds. The different world that is determined by the frequency we operate in. There is no truth in your reality other than what your subconscious mind have accepted as true. Anything you are seeing, is the reason you say it's true is because your subconscious mind have accepted it as true. There's no truth in your reality other than what your subconscious has accepted as true. Know that we all live in different worlds, and this world we live in is determined by the frequency we operate in. Your perception is projected into your reality, and that influences the frequency of the operation, and that eventually determines the reality you find yourself. So if you believe Monday is bad, oh my God, it's Monday again. Thank God it's Friday. If you believe Monday is bad, then everything go bad on Monday. To ensure that becomes your reality. Just the same way people give meaning to weather, because it disturbs their work or business activity. So your perception equals your projection. Your perception equals your projection. Your perception, the way you see life, equals your projection, equal to what you see in people, what you project on people. If you see life as evil, you project evil on people. You say, people are evil. People are evil. You know why? You see life as evil, so you project it on people. Not that until you change the way you look at life. Until you change the way you look at life, that is the way you perceive life, life will not change the way it looks at you. Until you change the way you look at life, life will not change the way you look at you. If you believe life is evil, you will experience evil. If you believe life is good, you will experience good. If you believe there is no love in Lagos, you will never experience love in Lagos. If you believe there is love in Lagos, you experience love in Lagos. If you believe Nigeria is hard and things and is austerity and things are scarce, that's exactly what your reality will be. So if you see life as being wicked, then people will be wicked to you. If you see life as being sweet, then sweet things will come your way. This is because your perception of life determines the meaning you give to it. Your perception of life determines the meaning you give to it. Your perception of life determines the meaning you give to it. Remember, nothing is anything until you give it a meaning. I did what I did because of what he said. No. You did what you did because of how you saw what he did, how you interpreted what he did. Someone in the same situation will not react the way you have reacted, but he will respond. Why? Because the person is interpreting that situation in a different way. In a different way. Your perception of life determines the meaning you give it. This meaning comes with emotion, which is energy in motion. So this then determines your vibration, which compound to determine your frequency, which consequently determine your reality, and this is how your perception projects your reality. I'll take that again. Your perception of life determines the meaning you give it. This meaning comes with an emotion. This meaning comes with an emotion. This meaning comes with an emotion. How do we arrive at the meaning we give things? You grew up in an environment. That environment shaping your experiences about life. That experience of life affects your knowledge of how life works. That knowledge of life affects your belief system. That belief system affects the things you value. The things you value affect the choices you make. The choices you make affect your action. So when you behave in a certain way, it's based on your perception, your understanding, your interpretation, and the label you give that situation. Now, look at this. If you give it the wrong label, for example, a conductor went away with my change. The conductor going away with my change make me to interpret it as, he's a bad person, he's evil, he's a thief. That's the way you interpreted it. And that make you pain. Particularly if you don't have enough money on you, and probably you have to even trek when you're coming back because that you gave him 1,000, he's supposed to give you 800, he went away with your change. That make you to be vibrating, very angry. Remember, emotion is energy in motion. Emotion is energy in motion. That energy, that emotion is an energetic vibration that compound to determine your frequency. And remember, the frequency determines the reality. And this is how you project your reality. So imagine an unemployed man who believes that it is going to be hard to get a job, or a salesperson who believes that it's going to be hard to sell. And he then applies for a job with this perception, and this then he get denied. Then he applies for another one, then he goes for the interview and get denied. And this makes him to begin to perceive that there's no job. There's no job in Lagos. There's no job in Nigeria. There's no job in Lagos. There's no job in Nigeria. There's no job in Lagos. There's no job in Nigeria. There's no job in Lagos. There's no job in Nigeria. There's no job in Lagos. There's no job in Nigeria. And he will be very angry. What are the government doing? What's the government doing? Very angry. That emotion, that emotion, that emotion, that emotion, that emotion, that emotion is an energetic vibration. It's an energetic vibration. This projection, because now remember, he has got denied, and the perception, and that takes him into the projection perception loop. Perception projection loop, rather. The perception projection loop. The projection make him to believe that he is right. I said it. I've applied. I didn't get it. I've said it. I said it. There's no job in Lagos. There's no job in Nigeria. I've said it. That's why I said it. You see? This projection make him to believe that he is right about his perception, and this make him to retain that perception. It could be in sales as a salesperson. It could be in business as a business person. You've made effort. The first person say he will come and buy, he didn't buy. Second person say he will come and buy, he didn't buy. Third person, that gets it into the perception projection loop. Perception projection loop. Perception projection loop. It might be in relationship or marriage. You've had 2 or 3 heartbreaks. It's always been turbulent in your relationship, and you believe a relationship cannot be peaceful. No, it's always up and down. It's always turbulent. No, I don't believe relationship must have issues. Must always be, there must be you must always have issues, quarrel, unhappy, sad. Perception projection loop. Perception projection loop. Perception projection loop. This projection make you to believe that you are right. Relationship cannot be good. You are right. There are no jobs. You are right. There's no money. People cannot buy. You are right. Sales is difficult. So imagine a businessman who sees decline in sales as a result of the recession or inflation in the economy. That perception of the situation determines the meaning which comes with emotion. The perception of the situation determines the meaning it gives it, and this comes with emotion. And a vibration that determines the frequency. This consequently makes that perception to become reality. And this is how perception projection loop starts, and the perception projects the reality. The perception projects the reality. The perception projects, because the perception creates a feeling, a bad feeling, a terrible feeling. Emotion, a magnetic vibration, which compound to a frequency and project into your reality. This creates a perception projection loop, and the person can be in this loop for a very long time if it's not cut short. That's why some people will tell you, there's nothing you can tell me. This is this, about this country, about. There's nothing you can tell me. Mm, mm. There's nothing. This is, you know why? Perception, projection loop. Perception, projection loop. Perception, projection loop. Perception, projection loop. That loop of perception and projection must be completely severed. You must stop it. If you are going to create your own luck, you must stop it. Completely severe in such an individual looking for a job, wanting to sell, doing business, for their reality to change. That means for such a business person to thrive in spite of the current challenges in the economy, he must perceive the issue differently. You know, some people will tell you that even though many businesses died during COVID, but some people will tell you COVID was their best year. COVID was their best year. They made a lot of money during COVID. By saving and perceiving, for example, that current economic situation, by saying rather, and perceive, for example, that current economic challenges is creating huge opportunity for customers that can afford your service. This help you to discover them. This help you to discover them. By saying and perceiving, for example, that the current economic challenges is creating huge opportunity for customers that can afford your service to discover you. This is why you need to analyze how you look at things in your life. Don't accept meaning that society has given to you. I will emphasize that. Don't accept the meaning that society has given to you. I will emphasize that. Don't accept the meaning that society has given to you. I will emphasize that. Don't accept the meaning that society has given to you. I will emphasize that. Don't accept the meaning that the society has given to you. Don't accept the meaning that the society has given to you. Don't accept the meaning that society has given to you. Oh, there is dollar. Dollar has gone up. Because dollar has gone up, so things are expensive. And because things are expensive, they can't buy. They can't, they don't have money to do this. They don't have. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. You know, something happened recently. I will say this in a discreet way, just to paint a picture. Someone have an issue with the business, and we had a conversation about it. The issue was increasing the price of the service, right? And in increasing the price of the service, the concern is that the customer are not going to come for the service again because the price will become too high. But eventually, we're both able to agree that there is need for increase, and that even if some of them will not come for the service again, no problem, because the business has to survive. You see that mindset? That we will work with those that will be able to pay, and not afraid of the fact that some people will leave. Make the decision to be taken to increase the price by almost 50%. Guess what? I'm not sure up to 10% left. Many stayed and continue to enjoy the service, even though the perception before was, oh, things are expensive. Increasing the price of your service right now means everybody will go. This is so important, ladies and gentlemen. It's so, so important for you not to accept the meaning that society has given to you. Rather, ensure that the perception you have and the meaning you are giving situation is the one that serves you. Always remember that. Someone has done something, you know this person is not nice, what he did it deliberately. But by saying he did it deliberately, what you are not doing, you are not helping your psyche. You are not helping your psyche. You are not helping your psyche. It's going to make you feel bad. You have the negative emotion, wrong emotion. Recently, my mentor was saying that he was sick. He was sick, and a mutual friend, a friend came from UK, wanted to come and see him in Nigeria. That friend now saw him, another mutual friend of theirs in Nigeria. And then he now said, I want to go and see so and so. That friend in Nigeria said, is he still alive? I thought he's dead, Seth. How will you say something about that guy? So when this guy from the UK got to that, my mentor, he said, this is what this guy said about you. Immediately my mentor told him, I said, don't mention his name to me. Don't tell me his name. I don't want to harbor hatred, unforgiveness, animosity in my heart. I don't want to contain in me negative energy, low level of vibration that will make my cell to be weakened, that will make my immune system to be weakened, and make it difficult for me to progress. He said, don't mention his name, please. Let's change the topic. Forget about him. Why? If I don't hear about it, I will not feel bad. You know, it's like the Yoruba proverb that said that if you don't hear bad news, you won't feel bad. If you don't have bad news, you feel bad. You won't feel bad. You are feeling bad because you are feeling bad because you are feeling bad because of what you heard. More importantly, the interpretation you gave it. More importantly, the definition you gave it. More importantly, the interpretation you gave it. Remember, don't accept the meaning that the society has given to you. Rather, ensure that your perception, the perception you have, and the meaning you give to situation in your life is the one that make you happy, is the one that serve you. This is the reason why the cause of being black is affecting the life of many black people in Europe and America. They believe that life will be hard because they are black. They believe they need to work harder because they are black. They believe they need to work twice as hard because they are black. They believe they need to work more than their white counterpart because they are black. With this level of perception fitting into the projection of their reality, they will remain in that loop for a very long time. You already have a preconceived notion of what you are seeing, of the meaning you give to what you are seeing. But in reality, this occurrence means nothing except the meaning you give to it. The Bible says, whatever Abraham called it, that was it. Whatsoever Abraham called it, that was it. Whatsoever Abraham called it, that was it. Whatsoever Abraham called it, that was it. The occurrence, like inflation, high interest rate, economic recession, really does not mean anything other than the meaning you have chosen to give it. The meaning you gave it comes with emotion. Comes with emotion. which is an energetic vibration. Energy in motion, which determine your vibration, which combine to a frequency and determine your reality. Remember that before anything exists physically, it must first exist vibrationally. Before anything exists physically, it must first exist vibrationally. And everything is always in a state of vibration. Before anything exists physically, it must first exist vibrationally. Before anything can exist physically, it must first exist vibrationally. If it is not existing vibrationally through a frequency, it will not exist physically. That's why everything in our universe vibrates. Everything in our universe vibrates. Everything. Everything. Only there are different levels of vibration. Before everything exists physically, it must first exist vibrationally. Please note that until you redefine the meaning of your reality, you will not become God over your reality. You will not have the control over your reality until you redefine the meaning you give your reality. The fact that you believe that meaning, you have given it. The fact that you believe in that meaning you have given it is what makes it to become your reality. The fact that you believe in that meaning, that you have given that thing, is what makes it become your reality. To create your own luck, to create your own synchronicity, to create your own synchronicity, which some people call opportunities or luck. What you need to do is to begin to live consciously. What you need to do is to begin to live consciously. That is, when you see the sign which society has tagged that thing, when you see the sign which society has tagged that this is bad omen, showing in your reality, showing that things are going to get worse, for example, then you need to give it your own meaning. That is to say, when you see the sign which society has tagged as being a bad omen, that is showing that things are going to get worse, for example, then you need to give it your own meaning that serves you. Do not allow the society to give meaning to what you are experiencing. If you want to experience synchronicity, you want to experience your own good luck, then you must give the right meaning to what you are experiencing. You need to give it a meaning that serves you in order to be able to create your own luck, your own synchronicity, your own opportunity meet preparation, your own goodness and mercy following you. This is because there is no truth in your reality other than what your subconscious mind has accepted as true. So when you see the sign, redefine it in a manner that directly reinforces your desired reality. A manner that directly references your desired reality. When you see the sign, for example, you receive the mail you receive the letter, you receive the news, you receive the information that does not align with your expectation. Give it a minute. Give it a minute. Give it a minute. Give it a minute. A minute that will not make you feel sad. A minute that will make you create heaven within. A minute that will not make you feel sad. A minute that will make you create heaven within. A minute that will not make you feel sad. A meaning that will not make you create hell within. That will make you create heaven within. Remember, seek ye first the kingdom, and all these things shall be added. The kingdom within. The kingdom within. The kingdom within. The kingdom within. Seek ye first the kingdom. The Bible says the kingdom of God is within you. And it said the kingdom of God is not a meat and drink, but righteousness, peace, and joy. So when I interpret that situation in a way that serves me, I will be creating love, joy, and peace within. I'll be creating love, joy, and peace within. This will make me to be at emotional level that is very high, at high vibration. And this compound to a frequency, and it will bring to me the synchronicity, to bring to me the luck, to bring to me the opportunity. You don't have an idea. You know, I was sharing with you some of the opportunities, some of the things that have happened. It's less than how many months? This year. I was telling you last week of a government, an agency of Lagos State that were raising proposal to in the past that ignore us as if we don't exist. They didn't even respond. Now they are chasing us. We are not writing, we are not requesting. They are the one wanting to partner with us. Partnership we requested for before they are the one coming for it. And how did it happen? Someone there needed as a service like we can offer. Incidentally, they are talking to someone that knows. I say, talk to this guy now. I will chat him for you. And that is it. Someone will mention your name, mention you. You just see synchronicity. 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 This year, we have 3 organizations. We did not write proposal to them. They are the one that send us a mail, send us a proposal. We need your service. We didn't write. Typically, you write proposal and be chasing proposal, right? No, we didn't write proposal to them. They are the one that ran the mail. We need you to handle this. In fact, one of them sent a program that we don't even want to do. We have to hire someone who will pay to come and do it. Synchronicity, synchronicity, synchronicity. Your own luck. You are lucky. Opportunity meet preparation. Because it said, goodness and mercy shall follow you. Goodness and mercy shall follow you. But remember, you must create heaven within. Because when you create heaven within, all these things shall be added. They are addition. They are jara. They are extra. They will come to you. They will chase you because goodness and mercy shall follow you. You are not supposed to be chasing there. You are supposed to position for it. How do you position for it? Create heaven within. How do you position for it? How do you create heaven within? Interpret every situation and circumstance in your life in a way that serves you. How do you create heaven within? Interpret your client annoying you, your student, your client, your customer, your friend, your colleague, your neighbor, your husband, your wife. Create heaven within. Create heaven within. Create heaven within. Create heaven within. Because all these things shall be added. You get lucky. But you are not lucky. You are just laboring under correct knowledge. You are laboring under correct knowledge. You are L-U-C-K, laboring under correct knowledge. You have the knowledge that if I am creating hell within, I will not have heaven without. I will have hell without. Because as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So when you see the sign, label it as an evidence that your desired reality is manifesting. even though physically it appears like you have been denied, you have been rejected, you're not getting what you want, label it correctly. Label it correctly. Label it in a way that make you happy. You must be so deliberate and become very conscious. You know, someone said, when the subconscious has not been made conscious, every misfortune is labeled as fate, as destiny, as my portion. When the subconscious wrong way of thinking, subconscious reaction, subconscious scarcity, subconscious anger, subconscious animosity, subconscious fear, where it has not been made conscious and corrected, every misfortune that the subconscious attract is labeled as fate, F-A-T-E, is labeled as fate. So when you see the sign, label it as evidence that your desired reality has manifested, even though the sign does not look at it. Remember, you walk by faith and not by sight. You walk by faith and not by sight. What you see with your eyes is 0.0035% of reality. Begin to label every situation and circumstance around you with a name and label that have a meaning that serve your own purpose. And this will make you to attract the luck, the synchronicity for the manifestation of your desired reality. This will make you to attract the luck, the synchronicity of your desired reality. I'll stop here this evening. I believe you've learned something again today that you can begin to implement. Good evening, everyone. Christina, how are you? What have you learned tonight? Christina? Hello, Christina. What have you learned tonight? Are you there? Christina. Okay, Christina is not there. Okay, Christina, go ahead.
Sir.
Yes, how are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Fine, thank you. Thank you so much for everything, your time and all the wisdom that has been shared so far. So everything is actually like insightful. I've really learned a lot as expected. And what I'll just make comment on is the perception projection.
Yes.
Because it's quite personal to me. Yes, I really resonate with the fact that as it is within, so it is without. Like the kind of experience you create within yourself is what you most likely see as your reality. And it is important to be careful that what the kind of world, the kind of reality that you have within yourself is usually sponsored by the society, by what you've heard. Things that get into you, the windows of your soul. And that's why it is important. And that is why we are always instructed to consume good things, consume good books, good people, and all of that, because these things come together to form our reality within. So I'll just give example of myself. So I'm currently a student of UNILAG, and before I gained admission, I had some trials and errors, and I saw the school as the almighty that everybody calls it, that, oh, it's so hard to get into UNILAG. When I tell someone I'm aspiring to study in UNILAG, I usually get this reaction of, is the powerful people that go there, do you have connection, do you do this and all of that? And it sort of formed that belief in me that when I'm trying I'm just doing it, like I might not get it, but let me try, even though I really desire to get it. Until I got to a point that I saw it as nothing. And this really resonates with something I learned recently, to that when you see something as I think it was last week you mentioned it, that we should see that thing as nothing, like see it beneath you.
Normalize it. Normalize it. Normalize it.
See it as something that is above us. When we even think of the fact that God has given us everything that pertains unto life and godliness, that's enough assurance, that's enough fuel to power that that assurance. So
Yeah.
I got to believe that, okay, it is not hard to get into Unilag. It's not hard for me. Even though, okay, I don't like maths and maths, post jam and all of that, I'll still get into it once I do well in my jam and all. So I had a reprogramming in my mind, and I saw it as something I could actually do. And through the promises of God as well, I actually did it, and I even smashed like my catchment cutoff with a lot of points.
Good.
So that is a personal example, and that's not even just the only one. So that stood out for me, like perception. What you have within you is most likely what you will see around you. Just like people that are always angry, aggressive, and all of that, it is because of what is going on within. And get that is almost as if things don't even work out for them when they continue to be angry and sad and complaining. I feel I'm going on and on, but this is the last example I'm going to give.
Go ahead.
All right, thank you, sir. So I read this play by John Husband recently, Look Back in Anger, and I also read Look Back in Gratitude. It is another version of Look Back in Anger, but the setting was changed and everything. It became a Nigerian version of Look Back in Anger. So we have Look Back in Gratitude. So in Look Back in Anger, the protagonist was really angry at the government that because he was a first-class graduate that does not have any job, he's suffering from poverty, unemployment, and he's always angry, and it on his wife because his wife is from the upper class. She doesn't have to like do so much to get things to work for her. And then so when I look at all of those things, and when I get to think about the character of this man, it just bothers me because the energy you are using to express anger, to complain, he complains a lot. He reads newspaper a lot and gets to read the bad news and the policies that don't favor the country. So those things fuel the anger that he is seeing in his reality. So let me not just go on and on. So what he has inside that, okay, the government is bad, unemployment is everywhere, it's as if you can't do well and all of that. That thing like reflected all around him, and there was so much poverty, there was so much quarreling in his home and all of that. So channeling our energy into being intentional about our reality within is a way to attract luck or synchronicity into our lives, to create our own luck. And I'm really grateful for this point that you emphasized, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Grace, good evening. What have you learned tonight? Hello? Hello, Grace, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, actually, I miscalculated the time, so I was looking at 2 p.m. my own time, and then
Okay.
I realized, oh, so but at the time I joined, so I wrote down something like where he said that we shouldn't accept the meaning the society has given to
Yeah.
us, and then in my mind I was saying I need to create my own world the way I want it to be. So like creating my own world, giving things meaning
Your voice
the
is
way that suits me. Oh, my voice is low. So I told myself in my mind that, okay, I need to create that world I want around me. In my mind, giving things the meaning I want them to be. If everybody is saying this is it, and that is not what I want, I should give give that thing a name or a meaning according to what suits me. And then feel like laying emphasis of what you were saying before about our frequency, the vibration that before anything can actually exist physically because it is vibrational. And there's this thing that they always say that the spiritual controls the physical. So I don't know. Can you still hear me?
Yes, but it's not very, very, very audible. I don't know where you can. Are you using hand-free?
Yes.
Maybe can you remove it and see? Let's see if it will be very clear.
Okay. 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 How does it sound now?
A lot better.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. So I'll start all over again. So I said at the time I joined, we were talking about we not accepting the meaning that the society has given to us.
Yes.
So and then in my mind, I told myself, so if this is what the society is saying and it doesn't suit me, then I change it. I give it a different meaning
Yes.
so that it can suit me.
Yes.
Yeah, so that it can suit me. And it just goes back to where the Bible says when they say there's a casting down, they say there's a lifting up for you.
Yeah.
So when people are saying, "Oh, this is how it is," then I change it and turn it around. And you look at the example you give about saying that a lot of people will tell you that the best period for them for their business was during COVID.
Yeah.
And we know, looking at it in literally, you like COVID was a bad time, things were bad. But some persons actually cash out, like they they always they always wish, oh, they could have a time like that again. But because they can always leverage on that negativity that the society is seeing and bring out positivity out of it. So which means, not accepting the meaning that the society is giving and turning it to something that's gonna work for you. And so I told myself, okay, if they're saying this is a normal thing for me, I'll in my mind, I will have to create a meaning and say, no, this is not it for me. It's different for me.
Yeah.
I said, oh, everything is this way. No. Even if, yeah, it may be glaring and I'm seeing it, in my mind, I'm seeing a different thing. I'm seeing a different person. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing it, and positivities around me and all that. Though I know I still need to go back and listen to this section because of where the last lady that spoke, where she mentioned that was synchronicity. So I need to go back and listen. And then still building on what you be saying before about the frequency,
Yeah.
where you said before anything can exist physically, it must
It
first
exists
exist
vibrational.
vibrationally. And there's this saying we usually say like that's the spiritual controls the physical.
Yeah.
The spiritual controls the physical. So even though sometimes we just say all these things and we don't actually internalize them.
And because
And
sometimes if you don't understand it now you can understand why the spiritual control the physical. The fact that
yes,
whatever you
yes,
see in reality actually came from spirituality. It first exists in a way you can't see and eventually crystallize and become, someone said, everything you see in reality is a frozen imagination or frozen consciousness. It was first in the mind of someone and eventually crystallized. So now it's a lot easier to say, okay, yes, indeed, the spiritual control the physical, because whatever you see in reality actually came from the spirit. Go ahead.
yes. So, and it's building up on the things I've been learning in the past 1 week. So, yeah, it's building up on things I'm learning in the past of because even sometimes, just like the assignment you gave me recently, like uh, reading the scriptures and recording it. And where I was reading a particular place where what Jesus Christ was talking to the disciples. I don't know if it was all the disciples, but I just read a part, and it was saying that even Solomon, in all his wisdom,
It's
in all
not
his
as
wisdom,
one of these.
yes, and I was having goosebumps, like I was having goosebumps, like God. and you're saying this flower, and I was like, I know this flower in the next room is going into the oven, and like, like good. I said good. Even Solomon, the Bible said there was no one that was as wise as him in all his glory and everything. And so I started. So I'm just trying to like, because when I listen to something, I try to align it with what I've read in the scripture, align it with what is going on around me, and try to create a positive word for myself in it, and then try to remain in that heaven. Like, okay, this is where I am. I'm not going to allow any other thing that is not going to help me achieve that my desired reality, affect me. Yeah. So I know I still have to go and listen to because I came like half past the time. So
No problem.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Grant. Grant.
Good evening, sir.
Grant. How are
Happy
you?
Sunday, sir. I'm fine, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much for today's session. So, as if I was prepped for this evening's session because
Okay.
I listened again to last week's on today,
Okay.
and then one of the things I gained from last week when I listened to it again and heard all the things you said again was like again on frequency and vibration, how that you'll be paid more for your frequency than for the skill. Like
Yeah.
and I was just shocked. Like you'll
That,
be paid more
that is
for
why some people put in a lot of effort, but they don't get paid as much.
yes.
Because your self-worth contributes to your frequency. Your self-worth. Your self-worth.
Yeah.
We'll discuss this sometimes in future. Your self-worth. Your self-worth put a ceiling on what you can earn.
Mm.
And that's a frequency. Your self-worth. The way you see yourself. What you believe you are capable of earning. Your self-worth put a ceiling. So
My God.
you don't grow the prosperity of your soul, you will not have it on the outside. You say, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as your soul prosper. If your soul does not prosper, you prosper to the degree of the prosperity of your soul. So very, very correct. Go ahead.
And it's not even shocking me. It's like it's amazing me because it looks like action is like you do something to get something, but really is that
Action
you
to come
be
after. Do not be put first.
yeah,
Frequency
yes,
first, action later.
yes, frequency first.
Action later.
So yes, sir. So now to the interpretation. Today I took house fellowship for my church, and then I was explaining and went to that part of interpretation and meaning that you want to give things meaning that favors you.
Yeah.
And I did all those teachings and everything. But this evening, as I've come to listen to you again, I'm discovering that there are parts of that interpretation I still do not know.
Okay. Now, do you know it now?
Yeah, I heard it this evening.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
so it goes, it extends beyond just situations. You can call entire industries a name.
Yes.
And this is how I phrase that. I would not to assign a level of difficulty to something before you start it. Don't call it hard. Don't call it difficult.
Avoid labeling.
Yeah.
Avoid labeling. Avoid it. Don't be quick to say it's good, it's bad, it's this, it's that, it's good, it's that. Don't be quick. Avoid labeling.
Because, like, again, we only see 0.035%. And
that is the reason you avoid labeling, because you can't see the true picture. You can't see it. That's the reason you should avoid labeling. you can see the full picture. So it's foolhardy and presumptuous for you to be rebellious.
So can you now say that we should only label circumstances good? Like,
Label it in the
like
way that serve you. Period.
oh
The way
yeah,
it serve you, as long as it will create peace, joy, and love inside. So you can ensure the heaven, the kingdom of heaven within you is not turned to hell.
mm. As long as it will create those high energy frequency
In you,
vibrations.
it must serve you.
Mm.
Period. You are the one that can decide whatever, give it a name that serves you.
Mm. Wow. So let me now go to the leveling of industry.
Okay.
I was just thinking because there are some things I can do or I want to do, but one part of my mind has been saying it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of work. And as long as the thinking or mind state of is going to be a lot of work comes up in my mind, or I convince telling myself, and there's a subconscious speaking. And sometimes it's even as we're speaking this evening again, I observe that a person can be doing self-talk and not know you are self-talking yourself. You are doing like it self-talk can be on autopilot where you've already formed an habit of saying something to yourself subconscious. Maybe you see something, your mind immediately forms a meaning. And I will not now usually catch it, but I now realize that when my emotional state shifts, it means I've just told myself something that is not good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like so the way to judge my thoughts and measure the thoughts that might be playing subconsciously in my mind is to check my emotional state.
Yes.
So
It has a very good indicator of
yeah,
of your state of consciousness.
yeah. Oh yeah, state of consciousness. Yes. Yes. That like sometimes I'm not even it takes serious awareness to catch thoughts
Yes.
because I don't know how sometimes I'll not realize and thank God for reflection. Maybe in the evening when I now calm down, I'll not see that there was a thought that intercepted that period that made my action just switch and maybe created fear. And fear, I
Mm-hmm.
found fear is just a very, very destructive. So for this one now, I've called it what I want it to be.
Mm.
It is easy. And this one I'm not saying is easy. I'm not even conscious also that I'm not making up a situation. Because the truth is that it is nothing by itself. It is whatever I call it.
Mm-hmm.
Like when people say something is hard and you now say it is easy, I'm not trying to be positive minded. They that are calling it hard are not even right either. The circumstance is neutral. If you call it hard, then it is hard. If I call it easy, then it is easy. Whatever name we give it is what it is. Like life is nothing else except what you make of it.
Yeah.
And that for me it just frees me up to go forward and take big strides and not play small. Then
Yeah.
yes, sir. Then the projection perception loop. Oh my God, this interpretation something. Sir, it needs training for
No, you are right. Let me tell you what is happening now. Your mind, so you have interpreted reality in Nigeria in a certain way. Nigeria is bad. Nigeria is not good. Things are going bad. All this. You did that interpretation. You have created a mind, either you like it or not. It's an entity living within you. It's a being living within you. So when you want to change, it will fight. You will have withdrawal syndrome. Because for it to survive, it needs energy from you. But when you now want to create another mind that is against it, you are going to be tested. So situations are going to come your way that will test if you are conscious. So if you react, the guy say, yes, we are still in charge. We are still in charge. This guy is not. That's how we self-sabotage. You want to do something, but you end up doing something else. You end up doing something else. Why? Because there is a mind that is not agreeing. It's like someone that been smoking marijuana or drinking and is now dependent on drug. He has withdrawal syndrome when he want to stop rather. And it's tough to stop. Why? Because of the mind that has created over the years because of this. So it's not going to be easy. But the more you do it, the more you build new neuron, new connection, any new thing you learn. As you do more new neuron, new connection, and it will grow after a while, it becomes easier because it will overpower the existing mind. You understand?
Yeah. Yes, I get this one. After a while, it becomes your new subconscious.
You get the point.
Yes, yes. Well, so well, my big takeaway from it is for me for today is life is what I call it, and to catch my thoughts because they can be playing subconsciously. I will watch my emotions, and I've even now traveled in my mind. Like as we were speaking, I traveled to the future. I went to edit. So there are certain situations that have generated for me the same reaction, like or when these set of things happen, there's a reaction I just get into. So as you were speaking, I traveled ahead in my mind. I saw the same situation happen. Then I set a new reaction where I made a new response like no, then I will laugh and sit down. That I did that reprogramming in my mind for that circumstance that wants to be a trigger a for a reaction that doesn't serve me, since it will drop my emotional state. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mark Aiden. Good evening. Nii, how are you? Are you there? Or is it the wife? Good evening.
It's a really interesting conversation. So I joined it. So I've just
Okay.
been listening.
Okay. Namdi, good evening. Hello,
Good
Namdi, are
evening,
you
sir.
there? Yeah, good evening.
Um, I really appreciate your knowledge. In fact, your gifts to the nation. God will continue to bless.
Thank you.
From what you taught us today, learned a lot. You say we should not accept what the society is giving to us.
Yeah.
Because our perception determines the meaning we give to those things. And that meaning will come with some energy, emotion. Understand?
Yeah.
So like now, let me use myself as example because I'm in marriage. I'm inside marriage. And, my research based on marriage, I was like, let me really look into this marriage and see what marriage is entailed.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? As time goes on, my research, I came out with, it said 99% of men are cheaters. You're getting it, sir? I was like, no, it's not possible. My husband cannot be among those. So if you say 99% of men are cheaters, that means the only one person that is blamed is my daddy Kumuye, because I'm very sure of that one. So will you tell me that? I'm just asking myself, will you tell me that my husband, of which I love so much and I trust and I believe, is among these 99? So I was like, no, I can't believe that. So more research, more investigation, a lot of people are still saying the same thing. So I started getting this meaning, as in I started misinterpreting this meaning, as you said, you understand, getting what the society is offering, and you put it down and you start giving your own meaning. And this meaning will come up with hatred. You understand? It will come up with, like, sometimes I used to like, this man that I love so much, does it mean he's just deceiving me? It's just, I was like, it's better she even reduce this love. You understand? So that if what they are saying at the end is true, where will I start? You understand? I was like, Even as I'm talking to you, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Even as I'm talking to you, I'm still like, let me just reduce the love a bit. I don't really flow with him so much like that. You understand? Since 99% of men are cheaters. So let me just try to build myself on my own because I love my husband so much. Like all my life, like I surrender all my life to him. But when I start hearing all those things coming up, what is happening in the family, how men are causing trauma to women, and all those things, I was like, it's better I should I should reduce this love, so that when he hits me, it will not be too, I'll be able to withstand something like that. But I thank God for this your topic this evening. There's how I can hear all those things and give my own positive meaning. You understand? And
Yeah.
give my own positive meaning, not to interpret it in a negative way.
Yeah.
The fact that others are passing through trauma, things, what their husbands are doing does not mean that my own will be the same thing. You understand? I should remove that negative mindset about what they are talking about men, that men they are useless, they are this, they can't be honest to their wife. No matter how you are trying to be good, they will still all those talk, Shabbat. I thank God for your message this evening. I will work towards my emotion and remove all those negative and what the society is talking about and concentrate on my own just for the will of God, for the purpose of God in my marriage. Because getting to this negative is making you to sin against God because this hatred will be there. That love, that genuine love will not be there again. And all these things is against the will of God. Understand? But I really appreciate. God bless you, sir. I didn't even want to join. He's even the one that forced me to join because of the way my mood.
Now,
Because
let
of
me
my
say
mood.
something about what you said. You know, the society has a narrative. Always, the challenge in our world is we don't know that when you hear some of these things online, there is a narrative, there is an agenda. There is an agenda some people are trying to push. And if you are not conscious, there is a difference what is happening and what is going on. What is happening is, men are doing this, men are doing that. What is going on actually is to destroy marriages. Because when you destroy marriages and you have dysfunctional family, you are going to have a dysfunctional children. And when you have dysfunctional children, you're going to have a dysfunctional society. When someone tell me there's no love in Lagos, men has come, I said, that's not true. When I was on campus, I would be among some people, they believe all men has come, all women are shameless, are prostitutes. But in my own circle of friends, that's not the truth. We live in different worlds. So when you hear things like that, the person is talking about himself, herself, their experience. That is not yours. And the fact that that is not what happened in society does not mean, because if you believe it, what you are doing to yourself is to attract it to you when you believe it. So don't reduce the love you have. I would rather you even avoid hearing those things. If there are places you go, there are people you hear, avoid them completely. And even because, let me tell you, when you hear that a lot, when your husband or wife now do something, you begin to interpret. I said it, they said it, that's the way men are, they said it. That's similar to the story. You see that story I heard, that you will now begin to give it a meaning that align with the same thing that you believe. Based on what you've heard, that's the meaning you give it. Unfortunately, that meaning is not serving you. Because of that meaning you give it, you are going to feel terrible, feel bad. You are going to have negative emotion, low vibration emotion that compound into frequency that will attract that which you don't want your husband to come to you, or what you don't want your wife to come to you. That is how we use our hand to cause unnecessary havoc in our life because of the way we interpret our situation based on what we are hearing. So I love the fact you are here tonight, and I'm hoping that you begin to, don't interpret whatever your husband do, interpret it in the way that serve you, rather interpreting it in the way that society are interpreting it, making you to feel bad and terrible, and begin to give it different meaning to what does not even have any meaning in the first place. So thank you very much for joining tonight. Thank you. Uche, good evening.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes. Okay,
Hello.
good evening.
Good evening, sir. Let me say I want to share testimony.
Go ahead.
Let me, in respect of your teaching all this while.
Good.
It has been a blessing in my life.
Good.
Currently, I am into drugs. I sell drugs.
Okay.
In Lagos Island.
Okay.
So currently, this NAFDAC people, they are in the market since on Monday.
Okay.
They've been in the market, going through each shop. Each shop, they search the shop. Even from that day, they came inside that market, if I'm not mistaken, on Tuesday. In the circle of my friends, I would tell them that these people, if they check all the shop inside this Idumota, my shop will not be checked. And even some of them will say, what kind of juju do you have? I will not say anything. I say, even if they clamp my step where my shop is, they will miss road. They will not know how to come down. Or even though if they know the way down, they will not still check my shop. And it happened the same way I said it. I said this to say this, that positive confessions work. Saying things the way you want it to be, it works. Because that was yesterday. They share themselves in different sets. And the first set of people climb up where my shop is. I was that step looking at them. They passed the shop. They didn't even look at my shop. They passed again. At about like 4 times, they just passed the front of my shop and they came down. They didn't look at my shop. The second set came. So they passed, they went to other shop, they come back, they passed again, they went up, they come back. Coming back, one of them just touched at the shop. I was downstairs looking at them. I said, what is this man trying to do? So at the time, I just clamp up to know what is going on. Getting there, something asked me to go back. I now went back. The next thing I hear, one of them said, come, let's go. There's nothing there. So I just want to use this to appreciate God and to as well let you know that your teaching is a blessing to us. It's working. It's we putting what we hear in practice.
Yeah.
Because it works. And I put mine in practice and it worked for me. They come up, they check other shop. Shop at Idumota is 100. They check up to 90. Even yesterday, they walked where my shop is, the territory there, but they didn't check my shop. Power in positive confessions. It works. I appreciate your life and I appreciate this channel. And I appreciate you as well for being a blessing in our life.
Thank you.
God bless you the more.
Thank you. Uche, good evening.
Yeah.
Hello, Uche. Yeah, Uche, are you there?
Okay. Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah,
can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I joined like way into the session, but a couple of things like stood out for me. And then what I learned was that I need to start seeing life differently, because the way I see life will determine the meaning that I will give to it.
Yeah.
Such that So if I'm able to see life like the brightness that comes out of life, therefore it will inherently bring about beauty that life has to offer to me. You understand? And then whatever meaning that I give to something, how it would happen. So the way I see life will determine the meaning that would come with the emotions that I give towards it. So if I say that things are difficult, definitely things will begin to work out in difficult trajectory for me. And then it just helps me to open my mind to the possibilities that comes with life, and that, even to the realities of the scriptures, and like what God has said would always come to pass, regardless of however the situation would be, and and how how that is going to happen is not my business. It's not in my own control. It's not in my own power. But then I should focus on what I can control, which is my mindset. Focus on how I can, cultivate positive mindset, cultivate the habits of always believing that things are going to work well, things are going to work out well for me. And, you know, and also, in this our society, there are a lot of negative, there's a lot of negativity that comes with society, with the norms, and then people are like, oh, okay, this is how it's going and everything. But then I've learned today that I should not accept the meaning that society has given about, about situations, about a particular thing. And like on Friday, like the things that happened to me on Friday, it just made me to realize that that things things that are happening are not just happening because of they're not just happening because I am maybe because I'm a perfect person, or I'm going to be like, but things are happening because God has God has proposed those things to happen. And it wouldn't it's not because of I can see them, or it's not because I know them, but because it has been predetermined by God for those things to happen. And it could be good, it could be bad. But then why don't I just look up towards the good aspect of it, and then walk with the flow that good things always happen. You understand? And I know of a surety that it may not be as I want it at the moment, but I know that all things according to God's scriptures, all things work together for good for
Yeah.
those that love.
All right. Thank you. Hello, Toby. Toby, you also joined late.
Yes, sir, I joined late. Good evening, sir. Thank
Good
you.
evening.
I think what I heard when I
Okay.
joined was that um, you should the what you don't let what the society
Right.
say,
Yeah.
yeah, and then we should make it serve us, right? I think for me that message goes a long way because probably because it resonates with me. I didn't know that like this teaching now, so I'm trying to look back and see the way that growing up will tell you that come when things are happening for you as a child of God, your case is different. You have and I've carried that mentality over and over, even to workplace, when people are saying that this thing is hard and it's like it's not possible. Me, I say I can do it. And, I've seen myself thrive in all of those things. And so I now begin to say, oh, so these are the principles. Just those few things you said tonight, I just trying to relate them with some experiences in that I've gone through, and some of the teachings Dad has given to me while growing up. And I want to say thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Then one final thing is on emotion.
Yeah.
So I think, like Grant said, because I listened to him, I think emotion helps to check. There's a way he puts that statement. So there's currently, when you also thought about interpretation that we give to matters and
Yes.
things, I think on SoundCloud, I commented on one of the posts that it has really helped me in my home. Because, I got wedded in August, and knowing each other as
I
newlyweds.
love that. Let me tell you, that will help you a lot. Look,
yes,
if you just got married, if you can live by that principle, the initial crisis that people have, you won't. Because you are going to interpret your wife or husband behavior or character correctly. Because quite frankly, you guys don't know yourself. You're going to get to know yourself now. And in trying to know yourself, when you interpret correctly in a way that serves you, you won't interpret wrongly. You won't say, why did you do that? But I told you not to do. Why did you do it? Are you doing it deliberately? You just interpret it in a way that makes you happy. And when you do that, it makes you to begin to observe more, get to know the person, and be able to now do things in a way that reduce those friction as you go into the future. So it's a very, very good principle, particularly in marriage, to be able to not get offended unnecessarily, because if you just get angry because you interpret it in a way, maybe based on the way your parent or your sibling, when they do that, that is what they are trying to do. When they do that, how do you know that's what she is trying to do? How do you know that's what he is trying to do? Even if that's what he's trying to do, that interpretation, is it serving you well? Is it serving you well? You will have the time that people have what they call storming session of marriage. You have storming before you start forming. The storming session where you have a lot of trying to adjust, you are now bringing a guy into your space, a lady into your space. And if he's not, and unfortunately, quite frankly, for many, even religious organizations, we don't take this particular issue seriously. When people just leave them and focus on new people, forgetting that the old people, a number of them are not finding it funny, I'm telling you. I've really heard some people, no, some people are not finding it funny. Some people are not able to manage it at all. So I love the fact that you understand, you are applying it, not just context of what we are discussing, but also in the context of relationship and marriage. Is a very, very good way to apply. To apply it. Well done.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. God bless you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. I will expand this a little bit more next week. So next week, we're going to talk about creating heaven within for manifestation. So that will be, and I will be building on this foundation next week, creating heaven within for manifestation. See you next week. Have a great, great week ahead, and bye-bye.
Good night, sir.